What is secondary meaning and when do I need to use it in the trademark context? Hi, my name is Derek Fahey. I am a registered patent attorney and a trademark attorney with the Plus IP firm, and this is going to be a brief video on secondary meaning, what is it, and how can we use it to help us. So first off, let's talk about trademarks. There's actually strong trademarks and there's weak trademarks. It's called the spectrum of distinctiveness. On the strong end of the trademark spectrum, we have what's called fanciful and arbitrary marks. Fanciful marks are words that are just made up, that really have no meaning, and that are coined words that are totally different than the stuff that they sell. For example, Xerox. Xerox is actually a made-up word. It's a coined word. It's a fanciful word. It's just a made-up word and it has nothing to do with copy machines. That's a strong mark. Another example of a strong mark is apple for computers. Apple fruit has nothing to do with computers. That's another really strong mark. On the other end of the spectrum of distinctiveness are marks that are considered generic and not capable of being protected. You don't want to be in that bucket. And then you also have what's called merely descriptive. Merely descriptive marks are marks that the words that are used inside of the trademark actually describe the goods or services, or also describe the geographic location of the services. So they're the weaker marks. You can actually use secondary meaning, and this is kind of the main point of the video, is you can use secondary meaning to show that your mark has acquired distinctiveness and now it's considered a stronger mark. So first off, secondary meaning. Secondary meaning just means that the mark has acquired distinctiveness and how it means something else to the consumer. A good example of this type of mark is South Florida Center for Cosmetic Surgery. The word South Florida describes the geographic location. Center for Cosmetic Surgery describes what types of services they provide, but because it's of its long-term use, the amount of advertising that's been done, the mark has acquired secondary meaning or acquired distinctiveness and now is able to be protected. So let's talk about secondary meaning and when can we use it. We use it to show the mark has become distinctive or acquired distinctiveness and can be protected. So some types of marks that you could actually use secondary meaning to acquire the rights to are marks like sound marks actually require secondary meaning. Another type of trademark is trade dress. Trade dress on product design, the actual product design, for example, what the shape of a bottle looks like, is never inherently distinctive. You actually have to have acquired distinctiveness, which means that for example, if you have a bottle and you think that the bottle that you have is, or let's say a lamp, maybe you're talking about a lamp, let's say the bottle, the actual design of the lamp itself, if the design of the lamp itself, you want to protect the shape of the lamp and say that's your trademark, you could do that, but you'd have to show that the shape of the lamp, the design of it, has acquired secondary meaning, or consumers, when they see that lamp, they think about you. Okay. Now, well, how do you do that? How do you actually show that you've acquired distinctiveness? Well, there's a few ways you can do it. Okay. The first thing you can do is you can actually have long-term use where you're substantially using it by yourself. And in the trademark world, in order to do that, to register a trademark, you just need to submit an affidavit or declaration saying you've used it substantially, exclusively, and use it for 5 years continuously. That's called a 2F affidavit, but I digress. So long-term use is one way to show secondary meaning. Affidavit saying the same as well. You can also use survey evidence to show that consumers, when they see this particular trademark or anything, they think of the particular source of the good. That's again showing secondary meaning, that the words mean something else associated with the brand. Another thing that you can actually use to show secondary meaning, to help you establish acquired distinctiveness of the mark, is advertising expenditures. If the amount of advertising goes to show that, or the amount of advertising dollars can help to show that now consumers in the eyes of the consumers, your brand actually is associated with you. It's a really good way to do it. One other good way how I've seen it done before is actually submitting consumer reviews where they're actually using the trademark to describe the particular product or service. So if you have thousands of Google reviews and consumers are talking about your brand, the brand name, and the goods associated with that brand name in those reviews, that's a really good way that you can show that consumers identify your particular product or service with you. That's something else you can do. Now, many times, if an examining attorney, when you file a trademark application, if they reject your application saying you need to show secondary meaning, you can actually do that by submitting an affidavit, again, this 2F affidavit, saying that you have acquired distinctness given of over 5 years of use, that's been continuous and has been substantially exclusively using the mark. That's one way you can do it, okay? So hopefully this was helpful. Secondary meaning is a really good way to establish stronger trademark rights and also to help you protect your brand. So if you have any questions about secondary meaning, please let me know. I'm happy to help. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button. You can find me on Instagram, Derek Fahey PA. You can also find me on TikTok, Derek Fahey PA. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions, you can find us online, www.plusfirm.com, or you can reach out by email, derek@plusfirm.com. Thanks so much. Have a great day.